Hello and welcome to Bethesda Big Train Network and to Bethesda Big Train Baseball here in Shirley Povich Field inside Cabin John Regional Park. I'm Zach Lewis, joined by my friend Sean McAvoy. Sean, how are you today?
Good. Excited to be back on a Big Train baseball broadcast with you, Zach. Different face compared to what I'm used to.
Yes, it's a new pairing for everyone at home. We have Sean McAvoy, our writer, tonight. Carson, our normal play-by-play broadcaster, is ill, so I'll be filling in for him tonight. We took a quick look at the Alexandria Aces lineup. Starting out for the Aces is Brad Larson. After him, Elijah Grant. Following him, Walter White. Daniel McGinnis follows him. Pazak will follow him. Jack Warner. Schraden Lechtenberg, William Burkaw, and Jackson Segro will close out the lineup for the Aces.
Yeah, for the Big Train defensive lineup, it will be TJ Gramesty at catcher, Casey Carpenter at first base. Second base will be Brennan Wright. Third base, Parker Corbin. Shortstop will be Kieran Coleman. Then outfielders with Logan Panet in left, Will Hack in center, and Ryan Foscola in right. And it should be a good game between the Aces and the Big Train tonight.
Yeah, a couple players being moved around, some different positions. As we saw a little bit of shifts yesterday. Unfortunately, the Big Train did lose their 10-game winning streak yesterday, falling here. What do you think, Sean? What do you think really went into that loss yesterday, and why they weren't able to come back against the Senators?
Yeah, I feel like the big thing, talked to head coach Sal Colangelo yesterday, and he was like, the errors. They had good batting. They put up 8 runs, lost 11-8. It was just the errors. They gave up 5 errors to the Southern Maryland Senators, who are a good team. They lead the South Division, and it's something you can't do. He said maybe it was the off day that kind of got them out of the groove, which is something I would kind of agree with. But you can't put 5 errors against any team in this league.
No, you can't, and that did prove to be pretty costly for the Big Train in their matchup there. We'll take a brief break for Anthem, and we'll be back with our starting pitch. Welcome back to the Bethesda Big Train Network as the Big Train are taking on the Aces of Alexandria. On the mound for the Big Train to start tonight is Jack Sams, who, Sean, does have a winning record so far this season.
That is true. 2-0 this season. He's got 4 games under his belt, all of those being starts. 19 innings, a 2.84 ERA, 15 strikeouts. Walked 6 batters, but hasn't hit a batter till.
Yeah, I think Sams has been a good starter for the Big Train. Hasn't come in as a relief pitcher so far this season, so definitely they use him purely as a starter, and he actually has a quality start. I think the only Big Train player to achieve that moniker this season. Against Gaithersburg on June 26th, he pitched 6 innings there, not a single earned run, and 6 strikeouts there on 75 pitches. So a really great outing there. He's hoping that tonight he can replicate a kind of performance like that.
Exactly, and last time out it was July 3rd, that kind of pre-July 4th game against the Olney Crop Dusters up in Olney, and that was a big spot for him right there to start that game. Kind of catapulted the Big Train to top of the North Division standings and the best record in the Ripken League. And that was a 7-inning contest too, if you remember that. And he came in through 5 innings, didn't get the win in that contest. That was actually Bradley Gagan who came in through the final to get the win. But 5 innings pitched, only giving up 3 hits, 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts.
Well, we are seconds away from a first pitch, as we mentioned. Opening up the lineup for the Aces of Alexandria is Brad Larson, a Wooford commit. Takes a swing, hacks it away foul for first pitch of tonight. Aces are in their navy blue uniforms with gray pants, and the Big Train in their normal home kit uniform with the green top and white pants. Second pitch from Sam's is outside.
We're calling jerseys kits now. A little soccer in you.
I got a little distracted before game and was watching World Cup, and now the lingo is incorporated here. But uniforms here as we're playing baseball, and that is a strike from Sam's. Does find kind of the bottom inside corner of the zone on that pitch. Sam's gets ahead of his first batter, 1-2.
Yeah, Larson, 22 games this season, 300 average from him.
Larson gets a hold of that one. It's flying and off the fence that's next to the Big Train bullpen. Got good contact on that, just foul on the left side.
Yeah, just a little late on that one, but that was a nice little hack there from Larson, who does have 3 extra base hits this season.
Yeah. Larson chops that one into the ground. It's into the glove of Sam's. He flips it over to Carpenter at first base, and that is the first out of the inning for the Big Train. Avoided the dreaded leadoff walk there, and Sam starts with an out.
Yeah, good way to get out of that first batter right there, and just very quickly as Elijah Grant now steps into the batter's box for the Aces.
Elijah Grant committed to Presbyterian College. Play next year. First pitch to him is outside.
Yeah, and it's 5'8" frame from Grant.
Does take a strike for the second pitch. Grant now 1-1.
But he's fast on the base paths.
And he has a lot of
fast.
explosion out of his frame. He watches that one go by, and it's a little too far inside. But as we're saying, Grant has kind of a smaller frame, but does have a very powerful build. He can get a lot of momentum and power from his legs into that swing. Takes a big swing at that one. Sam's tempting him with a fastball that might have been just outside of the zone. And like you said, Grant has that power and has 5 doubles and 3 triples this season. Swings at that one, though. Doesn't make contact. That's a strikeout. 2 up, 2 down for Jack Sams on the mound, who has a very good start brewing here. Really good job to get the first 2 batters out for the Aces.
Great pitch there from Sams, kind of low in the zone, but here comes Hunter Wright, the all-star.
Yes, Hunter White is an all-star. He's playing first base tonight. One of those all-stars named to the first base list. He will look to get the hitting started as the first 2 go down for his team.
I will say the big thing for White is he does strike out a lot. 27 strikeouts this season for this Aces team, but he's averaging 330 at the plate.
That pitch misses, so the count is 2-1. As you said, Hunter White will swing at it, and obviously that lends itself to a few more strikeouts on the season, but definitely makes significant contact when he does. Swings at that one. As we said, he's going to swing.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's that swing and a miss there, and a good pitch from Sams as the 2-2 count now for the righty.
Another swing. Sams does go 3 up, 3 down to start this game. Top of the first inning will close with no hits and no runs for the Aces, as we will be back for the bottom of the first. Welcome back to Shirley Povich Field and the Bethesda Big Train Network. On the mound for the Alexandria Aces is the Penn State Harrisburg pitcher, Justin Borger.
Yeah, not the usual Penn State, but Harrisburg. 5 games played this season, 4 of them being starts, a 23.2 innings pitched and a 3.80 ERA for Borger. He did pitch the June 25th game against the Big Train, where it was 5 innings, 4 hits given up, 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts on 89 pitches.
Yeah, he was pretty good in that game on the 25th. It wasn't his start that really led to the Big Train ended up winning that game. It was the kind of later innings and relievers where the Big Train finally got momentum in this game. As we will take a look after this pitch at the defensive lineup for the Aces. In the field in left is McGinnis. In the center is Larson with Warner in right field. In the infield, White is at first, Grant is at second, and Burkaw is at third. That one from Brenner Wright is fouled off. Shortstop Segro, and Matthew Pazak is the battery mates with Borger.
Yeah, and for the Big Train, it's Cal Johnson kind of leading off for this team. Power bat behind him.
Johnson takes a big swing at that one. It was fouled. Count now 1-2 to Johnson. Ref calls time. I believe he motioned.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a time violation here.
I can't tell if Johnson was late getting into the box on that one, or if they're calling it a pitch clock violation. But we'll see what the ref calls the count here. Obviously, he's already at 2 strikes, so Johnson fouls that one. Count stays the same. So it looks like there was no ball or strike penalty for that timeout. Just a warning maybe for Johnson not getting in and set in time at the batter's box.
Yeah. But Johnson fouls that one back. He's averaging .271 this season with a 984 OPS, so just under that 1,000 mark right there. 5 home runs and 11 extra base hits with 23 RBIs.
Yeah, Johnson has been one of the best hitters with Malvasio in this lineup. That ball does miss outside, and Johnson has had a couple really big moments of the big train, especially his walk-off home run on Father's Day here. Does get a piece of that one, but it's pretty much straight up to the shortstop, Jackson Scrow. So that will be a out to start for Justin Borger. And now have Brennan Wright up to bat.
Yeah, for the big train, it's going to be Brennan Wright second, and then Logan Pawnette, followed by Ryan Foscolo, TJ Gramesty, Kieran Coleman, Casey Carpenter, Parker Corbin. Rounding out will be Will Hack.
First pitch to Brennan Wright is in the dirt.
Yeah, kind of see those main hitters for the big train having an off day. Emilio Gonzalez not in the lineup. Malvasio not in the lineup as that one's a ball. Have to see what some of these other guys can do. Logan Pawnette kind of back in the lineup. Been a little while for him. He's out and left. TJ Gramesty back behind the plate as that one's a strike. So have to see good amount of that kind of core lineup for the big train over the course of the season, but kind of some returning faces, some newer faces, some different faces in the lineup.
Definitely some heavier rotation on the lineup today, as that pitch does just find the inside portion of the zone to Brennan Wright. Now count is tied at 2-2. Brennan Wright, a key returner for this big train team. That pitch high. Fastball not able to get the control there for Borger to bring it down far enough for it to tempt Wright on that one. On the full count, Brennan Wright takes a big swing at it and misses. That will be the first strikeout of the night for both Brennan Wright and Justin Borger on the mound for the Aces. Both teams starting out well defensively.
Yeah, good pitching on the mound from Sams for the big train, and now Borger for the Aces. And Logan Pawnette did play July 6th at the Gaithersburg Giants, but before that, his last game was June 24th against the Thunderbolts.
And we saw a little bit of why Pawnette was back in the lineup last night. Had some really good throws from third base where he played against the Senators last night, and he's playing in left tonight, which is a little bit different for him. Has mostly been an infielder for the big train at least. 1-0 to him. Turns to 1-1 as he fouls that one into the dirt.
Yeah, kind of looking ahead to the schedule for the big train as some kind of timeout here on the field. There's a lot of games to close this regular season. Like, after tonight, we have doubleheader tomorrow against the Crop Dusters. Maybe a day off Monday, we believe, but then game got rescheduled to Tuesday, and that's a Metro South County game. And then after that, you're playing 7 games in a row before the playoffs.
Yeah, it is definitely a difficult last stretch for the big train as they look to keep their top of the league. Count moves to 2-1. Pawnette, as that one misses low plate. But as you mentioned, it's going to be a really tough schedule. Pawnette makes contact with that one, but it's pretty slow contact, and the last out of the inning is collected there at first base for the Aces. No runs and no hits for the big train as we go to the top of the second. Well, it's a busy night here at Shirley Povich Field, and in front of the Miller and Long grandstand in front of us, we have lots of tables and exciting events set up. It is Agriculture Appreciation Night here with Butler's Orchard is here, as well as a cider place, Dockwater Cidery, and we have baseball cards here tonight. It is also Players' Parents Appreciation Night. Lots of the players' parents were able to throw first pitches to their kids on the team before the game. They kind of all lined up in a row. It was a pretty cool sight, and we wish we could have showed you that. But it was a really cool moment here for a lot of parents who have made the journey out to really support their kids on a big moment for their career.
Yeah, it was good to see that. Tonight had a lot of events going on at Shirley Povich Field tonight to kind of close out this regular season as Daniel McGinnis steps into the batter's box for the Aces.
McGinnis is an all-star as well, playing in left field tonight. He makes up one of 4 all-stars on this team, all of them in a row, actually, in the lineup tonight. As he makes contact with that one, it goes to the shortstop, Coleman. His throw over to first base is not in time. It's too far inside to Carpenter, and he's off the bag. So McGinnis reaches to first base there safely.
Yeah, just kind of the speed from him right there. I mean, not the best base stealer, but he had that kind of quick go from that little bit slower ground ball there. And Kieran Coleman for the big train can't really get to it in time. Fast throw. Carpenter's off the bag, and that's a single right there, I believe.
Well, you mentioned Sal last night not happy with the errors. That one not going down as an official error, but I think Sal be frustrated with that play there. One that you could definitely see getting down as an out and just not able to be firing on all cylinders in the field.
Yeah, I'd agree with that as that ball's outside. Now, the catcher for this Aces lineup, Matthew Pizak, and you were kind of saying it, that little run of all-stars, and here's another one up to bat.
Yeah, this catcher has been very good for the Aces as we see a pickoff attempt unsuccessful. Trying to get McGinnis cheating, but Pazak has been a very good catcher and a very good hitter as well for the Aces this season. He faces the 1-1 from Sams. Takes a half swing at it, but not enough to warrant a strike there as the ball is too far outside. We're at 2-1.
Yeah, it's a guy with a 307 average this year and over 1,000 OPS with 4 homers.
Pazak does make a big swing at that one. Doesn't make any contact, so it's now even in the count, 2-2. Sam's looking for another strikeout. He already has 2 tonight. That one is chopped into the grass behind him there on left side. So foul ball there. Keeps the count the same.
I think it will help a lot too if Sams can get through a good amount of innings, a good chunk, 5 or 6 innings, so the big train don't have to use a lot of these bullpen arms that are going to be very crucial to this late game stretch.
Will be, I think, sometimes relieving pitching has been Achilles' heel for the big train team this season, as that one is fouled back and over the screen. We're into the picnic area.
So you got there in the third base grandstand with a Holland jersey, Norway superstar on the pitch in the World Cup.
England is leading in extra time against Norway right now. That match being played down in Miami. Another foul ball there for Pazak the Penn man. Played pretty well at Penn, had a .515 OPS in only 9 games that he played there. He was a 2026 All-Star for the Cal Ripken Senior League, as mentioned, and has an average just over 300 here and 18 RBIs. So Very good hitting season from him. Sam's misses there. Count full. Sam's does have a runner on first that he has to worry about as well. That ball too far inside as now Pizak walks himself to first base and McGinnis advances. So now 2 on for Sam's. Has to navigate his first runner in scoring position here in the top of the second inning. Jack Warner up to bat for the Aces, as he will have a courtesy runner. Pizak will. It is Liam Irving, the Allegheny College Gator.
You kind of see that a lot in this league. It's something the Big Train do with catcher Jack Gagan on the base paths, but just kind of good little rule, I would say, to have these courtesy runners and kind of just give these catchers a little bit more time to prepare and get ready for the defensive side.
Well, these players are playing 9 innings, and they're playing it almost every single day, which is something that's not really seen in a lot of leagues. Obviously, the MLB doesn't play quite that many a week, and college is usually 3 or 4 games a week, so definitely implementing other measures to have these players able to protect their bodies a little better is, I think, definitely something that's good for the league and for the players. Warner showed bunt there, but pulled it back in time to avoid a strike as he sees that one outside of the zone. Count to him is now 2-1. Warner college teammates with Pizak as they both play at Penn. That ball was fouled back. Warner played in quite a few more games than Pizak there. In 31 games, had a .742 OPS, so a really good season there for someone who was also named to the All-Star team. Warner hits that one, but it is straight up and into the glove of the shortstop, Coleman. Sam's earns himself a first out against maybe the toughest hitter in this Aces lineup.
Yeah, good piece of pitching right there, and that was definitely a tricky situation against an all-star player like Warner is this season, but doesn't let this ball get down for a hit or kind of get far into the outfield and let these runners advance, but still got a man on second as designated hitter Schraden Lickenberg comes up the bat.
Yeah, I apologize for my mispronunciation in the batting order announcement earlier. It is Schraden Lechtenberg out of Black Hawk College. It's a cool logo. He has over 1,000 OPS this season. Sorry, at his last season that he played at Black Hawk College there. So.
Yeah, now a hitter's count for the designated hitter. Usually a catcher, but only 9 games he's played in this season for the Aces with a .790 OPS and 3 extra base hits.
Did have a double a week and a half ago against Metro South County. That game there, that ball is hit, well, maybe in bloop territory, but Logan Panett, who is in left field, making a good effort to get over to that ball and keeps the runners where they were at second and first. Sam's doing a good job with his runners on here as he got 2 straight outs after putting both Pizak on and Daniel McGinnis.
Yeah, love to see this kind of pitching from Sam's, not being kind of shy, just going after these batters to start here. And he's got 2 outs, and these runners haven't advanced since they got on base.
Almost as important as those outs is, keep those runners in good position, because if on either of those you allow a guy on third base, especially with only 1 out, that it's a situation where it's a really good setup for a sacrifice, as Burkhaw does take a swing at that one, and we are now at 1-1. William Burkhaw is playing third base tonight for the Aces. He's committed to Columbia. Played his last season at Gettysburg College. Watched that last pitch outside for 2-1. A couple of guys who don't have a ton of games for the Aces, as you watch that one grab the outside portion of the zone, and now it's 2s across the board.
Good chance for Sam's here to get out of this inning with another good pitch against Burkhaw.
Burkhaw steps up to face the 2-2. Does make contact with it, but Logan Panett is easily underneath it, and that will end the inning. 1 hit. Excuse me, they moved it to an error, I believe, between Coleman and Carpenter at first base there. The throw a little bit off, so an error instead of a hit there. No runs scored, though, for the Big Train as they look to answer in the bottom of the second. Welcome back to the Bethesda Big Train Network. I am Zach Lewis, joined alongside me tonight, special guest, Big Train writer Sean McAvoy. We are scoreless here at Shirley Povich, as defense has been the name of the game so far. Ryan Foscolo, right fielder, is up to bat now for Big Train.
And it was good for Big Train pitcher Jack Sams to get out of that kind of top of the second inning, and here comes Ryan Foscolo and his bat that's kind of made his way into the lineup recently.
First 2 pitches to Foscolo miss. Yeah, he's really done a really great job with the RBIs. Recently has had quite a few games with 2 or 3 RBI games, and just been very effective after in this kind of middle of the lineup after guys get on. After 2 misses by Borger, does find the zone there, so count now 2-1.
Yeah, kind of speaking to that, he's got 19 RBIs this season. We'll have to see what he can do here against Justin Borger for the Aces.
That one is chopped up and actually stays fair. It's right, super short. It's sat in the grass along the left side foul line, And Foscolo is able to get to first base in time, as it's a swinging bunt pretty much that gets Foscolo a single.
Yeah, impressive piece of hitting right there. I don't think that's what he was trying to do at all, but ball just kind of sits into this grass, this kind of heavier grass, this wet grass in this area, and it just kind of doesn't go over the foul line. That's single right there for Foscolo.
First pitch to the catcher, TJ Gramesty, who is now up to bat. Gramesty, a guy who has been willing to play anywhere, was in center field last night after being in left night before. So been all over and been kind of the go-to spark plug guy, as we've mentioned a lot this season. Has a lot of energy and loves bringing it to this team. We saw him draw a pitch clock violation by dancing over at second base last night. That was a favorite moment of the broadcast. 1-1 moves to 2-1 as that pitch is in the dirt to the catcher, TJ Gramesty. He is in his normal catching spot tonight. Chet Gagan is not in the lineup after playing last night. Parker Corbin, the other catcher, is playing third base. Gramesty just a little behind that one, and he fouls it straight back into the screen. Sean, we had 3 catchers in the lineup yesterday.
Yeah. With Corbin and Jack Gagan, who's now a Norfolk State commit, kind of different school after playing at Tusculum last year in TJ Gramesty. But I know for Gramesty, he played outfield, infield, middle infield too in high school. As looks at that one for a strikeout right there.
Unlucky there. Before Gramesty thought it was maybe too far inside, but sits him down, and Borger starts this inning off right for him as he gets a strikeout looking to start.
Yeah, for a guy in Gramesty that has a great on-base percentage, I believe he's still first in this league, kind of something you don't see a lot out of TJ Gramesty.
No, he's a hard guy to strike out, and he's going to make it as difficult as he can every single time he's up. First pitch swung at for Kieran Coleman, the newest addition. It does drift just foul down the right side line, but Kieran has been a very, very good fielder since he came in. Did misplace that first throw. Error probably goes to him on that one. That allowed McGinnis to get to first base, top of the second, but other than that, has been a very good replacement for Julius Bonaris, who was out with an injury. That one hit. Chopper gets past the pitcher and to the second baseman, who does deliver the throw to first to get the out. So quickly 2 outs for the Aces as TJ Gramesty struck out looking, and Kieran Coleman now grounds out to first base.
Yeah, that was a tough play there for Elijah Grant, but quick thinking from him, and the second baseman gets it over to Hunter White at first, and very close play there. I think the umpire was kind of thinking about it, but it calls him out as Casey Carpenter comes up to bat.
Foscolo is now in scoring position at second base, able to advance on that. So no double play there from the Aces, as they could have ended the inning with it, but we're able to get the lead man out. 0-1 to Carpenter. Borger blows it too far inside. Count moves even.
Yeah, Carpenter, a UNC Wilmington guy, played there last year. But this year for the Big Train, 22 games, a 281 average and an 884 OPS with 8 extra base hits and 12 RBIs.
Carpenter makes good contact on that one. It's back and into the fence in center field. Ryan Foscolo comes home and scores the first run for the Big Train tonight. They open the scoring. Stand-up double for Casey Carpenter.
Great piece of hitting right there from Carpenter. Time and time again this season for the big train, clutch hitting in clutch situations. It's something Sal Colangelo said last night too to me, and he was kind of saying our hitting was great, our approaches at the plate were great, and they've been great all season. Carpenter shows that off right there and gets a score there in the first run of this game in a 2-out situation.
Parker Corbin shows bunt to his first pitch, but to your point there, Sean, this team is probably the team in the league you want to face the least if you're a pitcher. I mean, they've got hitting top to bottom, and even when their guys that are big hitters are resting like Malvazio tonight, maybe like you have somebody like Casey Carpenter who shows up and delivers a big hit, kind of a double specialist Carpenter, and good way to open the scoring for the big train. Corbin swings at that one. It is in blue territory, but a great diving play from the right fielder there of the Aces, the left fielder. McGinnis ends the inning there with only one run scored on one hit for the big train. We will be back in the top of the third. Welcome back to the Bethesda Big Train Network. Lots of stir around baseball tonight as the MLB draft started tonight. Lots of players in and around the Big Train involved in that draft today.
Yes, as for Big Train player Hunter Renfroe, his brother Brett Renfroe, you see Hunter's jersey number 11 retired for the Big Train. Brett was drafted by the Twins in the second round. Pitcher out of Virginia Tech, number 74 pick. Chris Hakopian too, big selection going to these Washington Nationals at the 11th pick. His dad was GM of the Big Train these first couple seasons, was the one who hired Sal Colangelo. Kind of talked about that story today where they met in the mall and just kind of offered him the job there, and tied, I believe, the highest pick ever in Big Train history for former Big Train players. And kind of with that too, Daniel Machado, who used to be here. I think we'll have to see if he comes back from that shoulder injury. We'll have to see. He got that against Alexandria at Frank Mann Field. His high school teammate, Justin LeBron, was drafted number 18 overall too. Cincinnati Reds.
Exciting stuff for the Big Train, who had lots of reasons to be involved in watching that. The man, Jackson Segro, is just walked after a full count by Sam, so he is now on. Really exciting day for lots of people who follow the Big Train. You mentioned Coach Sal, who was brought in as an assistant coach for the first couple of years and then has pretty much dominated the league as a head coach after that with this Big Train team.
Yeah, there was a good talk today at Povich Field. I believe video of that might be up on the YouTube these next couple days with insider's view of summer college baseball. So if you have a chance, go give that a look as Brad Larson steps into the batter's box for the Alexandria Aces.
Our producer, Becca Corcas, has been creating video content of some of the events happening at the ballpark. So if you're not here and able to attend, you'll be able to see some stuff up on our YouTube and social media. The music at the ballpark was still playing when he stepped in to the batter's box. So actually,
or was he late into the batter's box?
Was he late? I guess he must have been late because they awarded a strike.
Yeah. Ooh.
Pitch was way too far inside from Sam's there that allows Segura to get to second base. Or it's right that Larson was given a penalty strike on that one as he did not get into the box in time. I thought it might have been an issue with the music because the music seemed like it was going on for too long, but the music kept going because he still hadn't stepped into the box.
Yeah, I think so. Now a 2-1 count, another kind of tricky situation for Jack Sams against the Wofford commit.
Three and one now as Sams is behind a couple of pitches for being gifted a strike. Still hasn't thrown a strike to Larson in this at-bat. Larson makes contact with that one. It's a pretty easy out at first base. The throw is in time, but does advance the man who was on second after a wild pitch. Jackson Segura is now on third and in prime sack RBI territory for Elijah Grant.
Yeah, and that's now 2 ground outs, I believe, there for Brad Larson to start this game. And here comes Elijah Grant, Presbyterian commit, and a guy that does have some pop in his bat. Not really a situation you want to be in as a pitcher, having a guy on third and Elijah Grant in the batter's box.
Oh, Grant can definitely make you pay if you leave one with his power. He takes a swing at that one, and it is right into the glove of Casey Carpenter over first base, which gets the out and keeps the runner honest over there at third base. So a perfect scenario, really, for the Big Train to get the out and keep the guy there. Pretty much the same result there as a strikeout.
Yeah, completely agree with that. That was kind of a lucky situation right there for Sams, but still is a great pitcher for this Big Train team. But top of this lineup for the Aces is a tough match as that one goes foul down the third baseline. You know, you were talking about all these all-stars that they have, and here comes Hunter White, another all-star for the Aces.
Well, you have Larson and Grant, who are very good hitters so far this season, as White sees that one high for a ball. And then after Larson and Grant are 4 straight all-star hitters. So really is a difficult lineup to get outs and get strikeouts against, but Sams has done very well so far. White takes a big swing at that one. He did strike out last time up. As we said, he will probably swing, and he makes contact a good amount, but he also does have a good amount of strikeouts as well on the season. Sams delivers the 1 and 2. It is just outside on the top corner. White has a pretty tall frame in the batter's box as well. He takes a swing at that one. Gets a foul tip, but it's into the glove of Gramesty. That is another strikeout for Hunter White as the Big Train once again avoid any scoring damage with one walk there and no hits. We will be back in the bottom of the third.
You've done it all across every level of baseball.
Welcome back to Shirley Povich Field here in Bethesda, Maryland. The first pitch to Will Hack, who is in the bottom of this lineup tonight for the big train, is a strike, so he is down in the count, 0-1. Borger still on the mound as he delivers a second straight strike as Hack takes a big swing at that one.
Yeah, for Will Hack this season, a .253 average in 25 games with 724 OPS and 17 RBIs.
Will Hack has been very good, but he does have runners on. Brought in a lot of those runs this season and showed up in some big moments for the big train. Train opened the scoring last inning with a double by Casey Carpenter that brought in Ryan Friscolo. Count is now even here to Will Hack at the bottom of the lineup. Swings at it, fouls it back into the dugout. Stays out of the dugout, but into the stop in front of the dugout. I don't know what you call that. The fence, the gate?
The fence, I think, probably the best way to put it is it's like chain link down there, you know. I think that's a fence.
Will Hack does make contact with that, but it's a good collect from Grant, but he completely misplaces the throw to first base. An error there, I believe, will reach Will Hack to first base on a single. No, sorry, I think he reached on the error. We'll see what the official ruling is here, but
I believe that would be an error there for Grant, kind of an E4. That's, I think it's just something you go back to with Grant, and it's the 5'8" frame, and it's a bouncing ball, and he has to jump for it, and he's out of position, and he's kind of, his feet are not really set for that throw, and it just gets away from Hunter White right there, and that's an error, but that puts a guy on for the big train as leadoff hitter Cal Johnson back up to bat.
And as you mentioned, he made a good effort to get over and collect that ball before he got too far into the outfield, and definitely would have been able to complete the out if he had put a throw into the glove of the first baseman there, but not able to complete that play. And Will Hack is now on first base with big hitter for Cal Johnson, who's now up at plate, but that one is into the glove of the center fielder pretty easily there as an out is collected for the Aces. Johnson makes contact, but it is soft and up, so a pretty easy out for the Aces.
Yeah, and Brendan Wright now up to hit, and we've kind of talked about that Aces kind of 4 all-stars in a row, but for this big train top the lineup, you got an all-star in Cal Johnson and an all-star in Brendan Wright, so still a good amount of power as that one's outside for the big train. And kind of going back to this kind of insider's view of college baseball tonight, Wright spoke at it, and he kind of detailed his experiences with playing summer collegiate baseball, played 2 years ago in the Valley Baseball League, who played here. Their all-star team played the Cal Ripken all-star team in the all-star game. I guess the the cross league game, I guess, probably the best way to put it.
Valley League is probably the closest summer ball league to our own Cal Ripken Senior League, and they played in the All-Star game against each other. Brennan Wright has been around for a long time in summer ball, and this is his second season with the Big Train. Definitely a veteran player, and if you interact with him at all around the team and around the dugout, a very calm presence kind of brings a level of maturity to the team that can be very helpful for a team trying to win another championship. Wright makes contact with that one. The double play is on, makes the play at second. It's over to first. That will end our inning quickly as Brennan Wright hits into a double play. One reached on error, but no hits or runs scored there for the Big Train as they still lead 1-0. Welcome back here to Shirley Povich, where the Big Train lead 1-0. Ace is kind of trying to come up with an answer for the run scored by the Big Train in the bottom of the second. We are moving through quickly as we have a bit of a pitcher's duel here. We're in the top of the fourth inning.
Can't say quickly. I feel like we got to knock on some wood after that one.
You're right. There's some wood in front of us. We got it.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey, but I'm all here for a long and drawn-out game. We do have a big week ahead of us, so
sure.
we maybe get our rest in on the weekend as we have Daniel McGinnis, who is up for Aces. He reached on an error his last time up. It was ruled, at least on the scoreboard at first, as a hit, but they took away his single there, and a missed throw from Coleman allowed him to get over to the bag as he put a really good effort to get in there quickly, though. Put a lot of pressure on the defense there. His base running definitely rewarding him on that one. Count 2-1 to him.
Yeah, I would agree with that point, Zach. Just hitters count now for McGinnis, but you kind of have these guys that are not everyday starters with Carpenter at first and Corbin at third, and he's kind of trying to learn a new position or newer, as that's swing and a miss kind of out of his shoes right there for McGinnis. But I know Corbin played catcher last year at Maryland, but has some experience in this infield and has shown it for the Big Train. But if the Aces can kind of attack and show their speed.
Full count there. They checked the swing down the line. He did not go. So that is a walk to McGinnis. After his big swing on his second strike there, he kind of came up holding the outside of his right calf a little bit, seeming to be a little ginger in that spot. Maybe he gotten hit with a pitch or is kind of nursing an injury, but able to watch that last one go by, able to check his swing in time, and he is now on first base. The catcher, Pazak, up to bat now for the Aces. Sams delivers on the 0-1, and it is a big swing from the Aces man, and Sams is now ahead in the count, 0-2. We do have Butler's Orchard here tonight on Agricultural Appreciation Night. Their blackberries were very tasty down there, as third pitch is fouled back, but just over the glove of Gramercy, so avoiding the strikeout there. Did you try any of the blackberries?
I've not. I did not try them today. Kind of got wrapped up with this insiders talk in summer collegiate baseball, which was a great thing, but haven't been able to experience this crowd.
Big contact there from the catcher. Pazak looks to make a big play back on it. It did get down. It looked like it would maybe stain his glove, but he was able to. The center fielder signaling there that it was in his glove, so it is an out. I don't think there was any way he could have collected that quickly if it hadn't been in his glove. So an incredible play there from the center fielder for the big train, Will Hack, as he has to prove to the umpires they will come together and discuss it. But what a leap, and able to grab onto that one.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get some instant replay from our Here For Us. Let's see. Yeah, and I think Hack's definitely got that in the glove. I think it's kind of the trouble when you don't have a crowd out there in center field. You can't hear the big cheers from them, but I think Hack's got that, and that should be a double play right there for the big train. Good defense from this big train roster to throw it back to first base just in case if there was an out right there. And yeah, and it looks like there's going to be no base runners on for the Aces as they kind of explain it to Alexandria skipper.
Well, it's a difficult one as well for the Aces because the signal did not come from the umpire right away, so they didn't know what they had to do because they had to wait for it. And the point I kind of made before was I believe there's no way the Hack didn't have that one, is he would not have been able to get up and make that throw into the infield that quickly if it had gotten out of his glove. He bounced right up and made the throw, and everybody was a little unsure whether he made the play, but he absolutely did there, and it's a really great defensive stand from them. And now the umpire is discussing with the third base coach of the Aces, trying to explain what the call will be.
Yeah, and I believe that's also their manager too, the Aces. But Sam's kind of just keeping warm with Corbin on third base now. But great play from Hack.
Yeah.
I think we got to go back to that one there. Over the shoulder, diving out for it, and impressive by the JMU guy and the center fielder.
Well, we definitely know the kind of power that the catcher for the Aces, Pazak, has. And he was showcasing it there as that one was into the fence, if not caught. And after the discussion with coach there, it is officially 2 outs on the scoreboard. They do get an incredible double play there. And honestly, a little bit credit to the umpires on a late call, kind of allowed the big train on a very smart defensive move to get 2 outs there. So
I feel like if that play happened against us, there would be a lot of fans, and the Boo Birds might have been out here at Shirley Povich Field. But we'll say it's a great call for these umpires because it did help us a little bit.
oh, absolutely. And, and it's one that you are loving if it's for your team, and probably very upset if it's against. So you understand why the Aces coach there is a little bit peeved that that call didn't quite go their way. After 2 balls to Jack Warner, he takes a swing at that one and misses. So his count is now 2-1. Fouls that one back, so Sam's working himself back to a even count here, 2-2. Just needs one more out after a quite less than typical double play from Hack, who collected the fly out. Made the play back into first as the runner would have needed to tag to advance, and he was over all the way at third. That was McGinnis who got out on the double play. Still no hits for the Aces as another ball is fouled back. 2-2 now. Sam's delivers. Warner makes contact, but it's right to the second baseman for the big train, and they collect that there. The third out as they escape a big hit from Pazak with an incredible play by Will Hack. Aces still held scoreless here as the big train lead 1-0. Welcome back to Players Parent Appreciation Night, and I think any parents in the crowd would have really appreciated that play in the last inning by Will Hack, as a great double play made it a short inning there for Sams, who got a ground out after that, so he still has yet to concede a hit or a run.
Yeah, and it's Logan Pawnette up to bat for the big train. George Mason University committed there as he fouls that one down the third base line. And agree with you, it's after last night, it's good to see those zeros for the opposing team on the scoreboard out in left center field at Povich Field.
Absolutely. I think that's a key marker in continuing a win streak, or starting one anew here, as lost last night, but always room to start your win streak. A win streak of 1 is better than a lost streak of 2.
Yeah, and I believe on the broadcast you might see the DC United mascot right now. That's cool to see him here with Homer and bunt. That one's also foul ball. World Cup fever kind of got us all in the soccer mentality. And
well, if you listen to me at all this season, you know I'm always in the soccer mentality. But Talon from the DC United is here. Logan Pawnette is in a 1-2 count here to Justin Borger, who is still on the mound for the Aces. He delivers a strike into the bottom portion of the zone. Panett not happy about it, but it is a strikeout looking for the former Gaston Rhino, now George Mason commit, Logan Panett.
George Mason, Patriot, I believe.
Patriot, yes.
Changed their logo a couple years ago. Not a big fan of it. Have you?
Really?
Have you seen that difference? Maybe I just watched too much A10 basketball during the year, but yeah.
That ball does get the bottom corner of the zone again. Now for Foscolo, who is up. Seemingly pretty much the exact same place. That was the same place the strike was called against Panett, and then 2 straight strikes thrown there for Foscolo. It's pretty far into the bottom of the zone. Really just maybe catching that outer portion, so it's a hard one to swing at. But he does swing at that one. Foscolo, it gets down in between the 2 fielders in right. Foscolo easily gets himself over to second. They have to corral the throw there, but a very nice double from the man who already has a single tonight. Foscolo hitting very well in recent games for the Big Train.
Yeah, and that's a textbook double right there, just into the gap between center fielder and right fielder, and it goes to the wall, and that's an easy double, stand-up double as TJ Gramesty up to bat.
It's now 3 hits for the Big Train. Now runner in scoring position for TJ Gramesty, who is up. Catcher. And utility in and outfielder for the Big Train. He hits that one, but it keeps Foscolo over to second as he has to hustle back. They don't go to try and make the double play. They were worried about losing the out at first. They do get 1 out there, and so TJ Gramesty now jogs back to the dugout after a ground out to him. Foscolo still standing on second, but 2 outs now for the Aces means that they are 1 away from navigating this jam. Really a jam, just 1 player, but Borger doing well here with a guy in scoring position.
Yeah, Kieran Coleman up to bat for the Big Train, guy out of Starkville, Mississippi. And I will have to point some of our viewers to the Cal Ripken Senior League website. Great article kind of about Big Train assistant coach Luke Atkins and his journey from playing in the Big Train kind of in the late 2000s, and now he's an assistant coach under Sal Colangelo, and from Mississippi, coached Coleman in high school, and great story. And as a writing intern here, I will shout out to their writing interns with the league.
Coleman chops that one into second with a throw just in the top of the glove there. Kind of snow cones have been able to bring it in and make the play over. So the Aces strand 1 runner for the Big Train and keep them at only 1 run. 1 hit there for Foscolo as we go to the top of the 5th. Welcome back. We are now in the top of the 5th. New pitcher on the mound, which will end the day for Jack Sams. We have Bradley Gagan.
Yeah, Gagan out of Eastern Kentucky University. 6 games this season, 1 start, 11 innings pitched. 13.91 ERA, 11 strikeouts, and a 1-0 record. And it feels like deja vu again because these 2 pitchers were back-to-back after the Olney Crop Dusters game on July 3rd, and here they are again.
And Gagan had a huge game at that one. He was one of the pitchers in the unfortunate loss away to the Southern Maryland Senators, where the game completely got away and gave up so many runs in 1 inning there to lose the game. That will end the night for Jack Sams, who pitched in 4 innings tonight for the Big Train. Had 3 strikeouts, 0 earned runs, and 0 hits. So a really good start from Sams there. Probably still avoiding his pitch limit from his college coaches is why he's probably retired a little earlier in this game, as Gagan comes in and will now take over from him. First pitch from Gagan is a strike to Schraden Lechtenberg for the Aces, DHing tonight. Lechtenberg has a very interesting stance there. Stands up pretty straight in the box and has the bat pretty much like straight up behind his head. So looking to kind of bring the bat down and through to get as much power as he can. Does get a good amount of power there, but it stays just foul on the right side from Schrettenberg.
And it looks like the scoreboard, and it's back up. I was about to say the scoreboard went out in their center field, and it's back out again. So, nope, back on. For Wickenberg, he's out of Iowa. I feel like he's probably one of the only players, or the only player in the Ripken League out of that state.
Yeah, not too many from the Midwest. That one does hit him, and so Gagan does start off with a hit by pitch and a walk. Start his night. Not quite what you want. He was looking really good in his first couple of pitches, but just unlucky for that one to drift too far and clip the Aces man just above the knee. Gagan whips another one in there for the left-handed pitcher. That one does find the corner of the zone for a strike to William Burkaw.
Yeah, Burkaw's a guy that played at Gettysburg last year, D3, now moving up to the D1 ranks because of the transfer portal in Columbia.
0-2 is outside to Burkaw there from Gagan. Pretty low in the dirt there. Lechtenberg on first after getting hit by a pitch. Burkaw has to dodge that one as it's near head level inside of the plate.
Yeah, Burkaw's kind of a guy that joined this team later, was 0 for 3.
That ball, last game. Probably a passed ball there from Gramesty as it just gets away from him in the dirt there. Kind of a little all over the place in terms of where the pitches have ended up. A couple in the dirt far outside of the plate, and that one in the dirt inside of the plate. So Gramsci having to cover a lot of ground there from Gagan as the count is now full to Burkaw.
Yeah, that little mound visit right there probably was a combination of let's start to get these pitches a little bit more into the zone, and probably a little bit of an apology for that pass ball right there.
Yeah, obviously you want to do as a catcher your pitcher as many favors as you possibly can. So a missed one there from Gramercy. Burkhaw does make contact with them, but it's straight up and stays short. So Parker Corbin, the third baseman tonight, collects that for an easy out, and it does keep Lechtenberg over at second, who got there after a passed ball from hit by pitch after he was on first. Jackson Seguro, the bottom of the lineup, now up. He walked his last time up against Sams. He now faces Gagan, and the first pitch to him is a strike. It's a really nice ball that just nestles in the bottom portion of the zone there.
Yeah, a guy that was a rising junior in the college ranks, played the last 2 seasons at Haverford College, a D3 school.
Seguro makes contact, and it gets past Brennan Wright at second base. Runner staying at third as the throw from Boscolo over there in right is very good to Gramercy, who definitely would have had plenty of time to get the out there, but runners in the corner with only one out now. To Gagan. Has to be wary of the tying run that's on third base right now, and a winning run on second, or leading. Good single from Seguro there. Brad Larson up to plate there as first pitch is missed, but whipped over to third by Gramercy to Corbin, try and get the guy who's on third, Lechtenberg, who was leading off. The throw not quite in time, but it's a very good attempt from Gramercy there. As our normal play-by-play broadcaster would love to say, a frozen rope.
Good little mention of Carson Cass right there. I hope he's excited with, we talked about the MLB draft, with the White Sox had the #1 overall pick, took Rock Chalowski, shortstop out of UCLA. Kind of watched him a couple times this year as a guy that likes the Big Ten, goes to Indiana. So hopefully he's excited with that pick.
Chalowski will be a very good player in these major leagues. Going to see how he fits into this White Sox squad that has picked up a lot of momentum this year. Kind of a surprising year from them, but it's been really good. Pitch is a strike to Larson. Thinks about it again. Once again, the pickoff attempt, and it's in time. Really, really good job from Gramercy there to notice how far Lechtenberg was leading off and to continue to deliver the throw to Parker Corbin, who that one, it was in time, and the dive back didn't get his hand quite on the bag in time, and he's able to get the out at third, which now will relieve a lot of pressure from Gagan. Only needs one more out and has the batter at 2-2. Gagan delivers. It's a ball that moves quickly out of the zone, and a big swing for Brad Larson strikes him out. Scoreless still for the Aces as they do record one hit in the fifth. We'll be back with more Bethesda Big Train Baseball. Up to bat to start for the big train is the guy playing first base tonight, Casey Carpenter. Carpenter has a double that scored him, or scored the first and only run of the game. He makes contact with the first pitch he sees and sends it over to the third baseman. Kind of slips a little bit actually after it makes contact, and probably either way was going to be out at first after. It's a very good throw from the third baseman of the Aces to get the out there. Justin Borger still in for the Aces, so he continues his night. Carpenter retired there with a ground out. Former Maryland catcher Parker Corbin is now up to bat as he sees the first ball miss. That one finds the zone, though, and now 1-1. Corbin has now committed to Akron after a visit there during the big train season after he suffered a laceration on his finger. Thinks about swinging there, and didn't matter that he checked it because it was still in the zone, so goes behind here early, 1-2 to Corbin. That one misses, so count is even now. Borger has had a very good outing so far. Only conceded the 1 run. 3 hits, though. Big Train not able to capitalize on a double from Ryan Fiscolo in the last inning. Two. At a cooler, cloudier night here as the 2-2 is delivered outside to move to a full count, but very nice respite from lots of balmy. I don't have to say balmy if it's not very comfortable. Very extremely hot and humid nights here at Shirley Povich last week. Up is low and inside. Parker Corbin walked over to first. Will Hack will follow him, who had an incredible play earlier tonight.
Yeah, good timing catch there from Hack, and I feel like it's been a long time since we've seen clouds in the sky at Shirley Povich Field. And it's a lot of days with a clear sky, and it's nice when the sun goes down or it's kind of in those trees out in the outfield, but especially when it's high in the sky, it's a little warm.
It's been somewhat atypical Maryland weather summer, but I think we say that all the time, so maybe Maryland weather is just atypical, and it's Will Hack takes a heater. It looks like it may have caught him right in the elbow, trying to shake that one off. That ball missed badly, and Will Hack a little shaken up after that one, but he does shake it off and jogged himself over to first base. Painful way for 2 runners to be on now for the big train with only 1 out.
A very painful way. Definitely not a part of the body with a lot of padding there, but here comes Cal Johnson, a guy that can hit the ball out of the park with 2 runners on, 1 out.
Well, you could almost hear the sound it made off kind of the bone of his arm there. Obviously not a place where there's a lot of muscle or other padding you mentioned. I do get the out over at first there off contact by Cal Johnson that was pretty short, so the third baseman comes close to the plate to collect and throw over to first. Does get the Maryland commit Cal Johnson out on that play, but runners Parker Corbin and Will Hack on second and third now. 2 outs, but an opportunity for Brennan Wright to get a base hit and bring more runners home and opening the scoring here in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, as that one is in there for a strike, kind of just on the edge of that zone, and As I kind of said, Johnson can hit one out of the park, but he does his job right there to move the runners to second and third.
Does his job there for sure. Brendan Wright, count 1-1 to him after the last ball missed inside. First pitch was a strike to him. Borger delivers one. It's a good fastball down the middle there. Just finds the centerpiece of the zone. Brendan Wright, probably wishing he would have swung at that one. 1-2. Wright does make contact, and it does get past the shortstop there. One run will score, and there'll be a play at the plate for the second one. It is in time, so one run is scored, but the inning will be done. Teammates frustrated that Will Hack decided to try and come all the way home, as he could have stayed over at third. Was given the go-ahead call by the third baseman there. One hit and one run scored in the bottom of the fifth. We go to the sixth, up 2 for the Big Train. Well, it's a short outing for Bradley Gagan, who only saw one inning tonight. Terry Kaler has now replaced him.
Yeah, for Kaler, commit to Eastern Michigan now out of the portal. 7 appearances for him this season, 9.1 innings pitched, a 12.54 ERA, 10 strikeouts, 13 batters walked. Last time out was at Alexandria on July 2nd, where he pitched an inning, gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run, and struck out 2 batters.
Gagan has found some more rhythm. Some errors in the field kind of caused his earned runs and runs to look a little worse than they were for a good part of the season. But Bradley Gagan ends the night with 1 inning pitched here. 1 hit given up, no earned runs, no strikeouts. So short but effective night. And gave up 1 hit, but obviously nothing came of it. So was able to navigate it well with a good pickoff attempt from Gagan. Able to get the second out in that inning. Kaler delivers the first pitch and it misses. To Elijah Grant.
Swinging strike right there for Grant, and pulls back the bunt. I've kind of talked about it. I do like to see how the catchers on this Big Train team are a little bit more utility players. I know Parker Corbin's trying to kind of transition out of that catcher role for his stint at Akron in the spring.
Terry Kaler, the drop third, but gets his first strikeout. It's a good look there from Kaler as Elijah Grant walks himself back in the dugout. Not good news there from him, but there is good news from him on the other category. They actually took away his error. It's 0 errors now for the Aces as the throw over to first, I believe, will get ruled as a single for, I believe it was Will Hack who reached on a missed throw from Grant earlier.
That's a tricky one there, and I think it could have gone either way. It was kind of scorekeeper's decision, but I don't know. I feel like that might have been an error right there. I know it was close, but he was very close to the first baseman, and he could have had that throw not go past Hunter White.
I definitely think I'm in agreement with you there, Sean. It was not the easiest play to come down with, but I think once he got himself in the position that he did, he just completely missed the throw, to be honest. But lucky for him, it's not counted as an error, and the Aces still have 0. They check its swing on the 2-1 down the line, and they say he did not go. Excuse me, on the 1 and 2, so it is now 2 and 2.
We'll say the good thing about that for the big train being counted as a hit helps batting average, I believe, for Will Hack.
Yeah, will count as a hit for him tonight, a single. Will Hack, the one with the out to end the inning, as he was caught trying to extend the lead even further for the big train, as Terry Kaler misses too many times on that one, walks Hunter White here. Daniel McGinnis up to bat has a reached on error for him, as that one is still an error ruled, and a walk as well for him. So been on base 2 times, but doesn't have a hit yet so far, so they all start looking for that.
Wow, that was very low and inside right there, almost hitting the batter, Daniel McGinnis, but kind of wild pitch there helps base runner move to second.
Well, now a runner in scoring position for Kaler after a pitch that missed pretty badly, so we'll have to navigate having somebody behind him now as he looks back at him before delivering the 1-0 count. That one is pretty far outside again. 2-0.
It needs to find the zone here. Kaler does. Just too sporadic with these pitches.
But a little bit missing a little control, as that one misses pretty much the same spot. Way far outside, all the way in the other batter's box once again. So, she said needs to find a little bit of control here for Kaler, as he does have a runner in scoring position that he has to worry about. Still needs 2 outs to get out of this one. Have held the Aces scoreless so far, the big train have, and looking to keep it that way, as McGinnis to prevent that does get a slap shot hit. It reaches all the way to the left fielder, Logan Panette there. He makes the throw in that keeps the runners at corners, but second hit given up by the big train here, as Kaler left one over the plate after struggling to find it in his first 3 pitches.
I think that was kind of just a make-up pitch right there, too far outside, and then now he throws one kind of just over the heart of this plate.
And you always have to be careful with that too. Obviously, you want to fight your way back into batters, but now that you've already done a little bit of the damage in the at-bat with giving up 3 straight balls, you have to be careful not to leave an easy one over the plate, as can do more damage to your team than good. That one misses inside. 2 straight balls to Pazak, who almost had a big hit but was robbed of it by a diving catch by Will Hack in center. Does make contact with that one. It's chopped to the shortstop, and they're able to get the double play flipped over to the 4 spot and then to the 3. It's a double play once again for the Big Train, and they're able to escape unscathed. 1 hit added for the Aces, but they stay scoreless here in Shirley Povich.
Now batting for the Big Train, the left fielder, number 6, Logan Putnam.
Welcome back to the Bethesda Big Train Network. Logan Panett up to bat. He has a ground out and a strikeout so far. Struck out looking last time up. Looking to get a hit tonight. Big Train are up 2-0 against the Aces of Alexandria.
And it's the righty, Justin Borger, still on the mound for the Aces. 5 innings pitched, giving up 5 hits, 2 earned runs, struck out 3, and 74 pitches now.
Well, it's really not a bad outing from Borger at all. Obviously in position of loss right now, but I think Big Train batting has been very good and showed up in good moments in order to have a lead, but it's been quite a pitcher's duel here so far. So pitch is high. Count moves to 2-1. Bennett.
Yeah, we've talked about the MLB draft today, but I believe
That's a big hit from Panett. As he hits that one and gets down in front of the left fielder there. A single to start off this inning as bats beginning to warm again for the Big Train. Hopefully hitting is contagious once again here as start off with a man on first. Logan Panett, good single.
Yeah, as I was saying, we talked about the MLB draft, but the All-Star game coming up soon, I believe. So have a couple breaks in the schedule for the MLB, but we'll still have baseball here probably at Shirley Povich Field. Big Train, good amount of games left in this regular season.
That ball by Foscolo is chopped into the dirt. That one off the top of Grant's glove. We'll see if that one is ruled an error. They had it. It is ruled an error. Once again, a missed play there, and it's over the top of his glove. It was setting up perfectly for a double play, but instead, runners on the corners with no outs. A big moment for the Big Train to score with someone on third base and no outs so far.
Yeah, that's definitely an error against Grant right there. It just kind of pops up over his head at the edge of this infield into the outfield, and now runners on the corners for the big train and TJ Gramesty.
First pitch to TJ Gramesty, mixes inside. Having an unlucky night for Grant, as we noted that his previous error was taken off, and well, now he has one put back on, as he is not able to complete the play in order to come up with a double play here for the Aces, and 2 runners on now, 1 in scoring position. Big moment for the catcher TJ Gramesty to come up with a hit. The 2-0 is fouled back. Now 2-1.
Yeah, big spot here for Gramesty, a guy that gets on base a lot this season, still leads the league in that category, and had a really uncharacteristic strikeout to begin this game, but big opportunity to extend the big train's 2-run lead.
Well, every run is going to definitely count in a game like this, where there's been very little hitting. That ball ended up striking.
It's a swing and a miss, but it could have been a catcher's interference there. That's why Gramesty's getting that free base, and Pawnette ran home, but he's going back. Now bases loaded for the Mississippi guy and Kieran Coleman.
Well, I thought it might be a passed ball or wild pitch on, I guess it would be a passed ball. It was off the catcher there. Catcher does give his pitcher a moment to breathe, and maybe himself a moment to breathe, because he was caught by that ball there. Play an odd situation. Bases are loaded now for the big train after it's called catcher's interference, and TJ Gramesty, after on the verge of striking out, goes over to first base instead. So bases loaded, ducks on the pond, and no outs here for the big train. An opportunity to extend this lead. The man to do it is Kieran Coleman.
And the Aces do have, looks like a lefty warming up in the pen for them.
Interesting to see how much longer Borger lasts in that one. He hasn't gotten a single mound visit so far tonight, so they've been very happy with him so far, but we'll have lots of outs to navigate here. Coleman does make contact with that one. It's into the dirt in front of him and into the fence by the big train dugout.
I'm surprised we didn't see an assistant coach or pitching coach for the Aces kind of come out and talk to Borger in this situation. Kind of just his catcher, Matthew Pizak, coming out, giving him some words of encouragement, trying to calm him down, but maybe they just trust the Penn State Harrisburg guy.
They're really showing a lot of trust in him here. Does a great job finding the zone on that one. Now ahead in the count against Coleman, looking to retire the batter and get his first out. Hasn't had a strikeout in a while, not since strikeout looking against Corbin at the first batter in the bottom of the 4th inning. So it's been quite a few batters here, so looking to try and get one back.
Well, he gets himself into a pitcher's count now, 1-2. Let's see what he can do.
One and two. Coleman makes contact. It gets past the shortstop and the second baseman. Again, Grant in position kind of odd where he was standing. It brings 2 runs in for the big train. Goes through 2 guys. Nobody's able to make a play on it, and Coleman has 2 RBI singles to first base, and runners on the corners once again. 2 more runs scored. Big train lead 4-0. That one is ruled a hit.
Yeah, and I think that might be Borger's day done. Jackson Skro kind of reaches out for it, And I think Elijah Grant kind of gave his teammate a little bit too much leeway right there. Not kind of slowed up. That Scro had that one in the glove. Doesn't. That kind of slower speed from him just lets the ball kind of pass through the middle infield and into the outfield.
Yeah, Coleman doing a good job getting kind of a scrappy piece of hitting there. An important moment when you have runners on everywhere, just need to get the ball into play, and it's going to hopefully do damage, and it does exactly that, and he's able to stay safe as well with it. We will take a brief break as we will find the new pitcher on the mound when we come back. Big Train lead 4-0. New pitcher for the Aces as that ends the night of Justin Borger. Jackson Moranio out of Allegheny College.
Yeah, this season for him, 7 games pitched in, 3 games started, 18.1 innings, a 3.93 ERA, 12 strikeouts, 14 batters walked, and a 2-0 record. Last time out was at the Metro South County Braves on July 8th. 1 inning pitched, didn't give up any hits or earn runs, didn't strike out, just got out of that inning in 9 pitches.
That will end the night of Justin Borger. Just 5 innings pitched there as he doesn't get an out in this 6th. 7 hits given up there, 4 runs, 3 of them earned. Gave up 1 walk, had 3 strikeouts. Did give up 2 doubles as well. So not the best outing for him as he was doing very well, and unfortunately there that hit from Coleman definitely made the night look maybe worse than it actually was for a lot of it.
Yeah, I would agree with that one. It's just the manager's dilemma. Do you kind of let a guy face the lineup for a 3rd time? Aces do, and it doesn't really work out.
Carpenter, that one is hit well, but it's all the way into the glove of the right fielder. TJ Gramesty quickly home, though. He is a master at getting around the bases, leads the team in stolen bases this season, and very quickly scores another run there on a sacrifice hit from Casey Carpenter. Coleman stays at first base, and the lead is now 5 for the Big Train.
Yeah, it was a good throw from right field, and Jack Warner just a little bit too late. Not enough as Parker Corbin now up to hit for the Big Train.
Corbin with a walk and a fly out so far tonight. Has not gotten a hit yet, not gotten to first base. Just 1 runner on now, but only 1 out. First pitch to him misses inside. Pretty close to that zone, but not quite grabbing it. pitch is delivered a miss once again for Mariano. I have to say, I'm a huge fan of the Allegheny College logo. The gator is awesome. Mariano misses low. Now 3 straight balls for him against Corbin.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Zach, on that one. I like the Gators logo a little bit different than like the one that comes to mind, the Florida Gators.
Absolutely. Corbin fouls that one back. It is like it's a different alligator look than you're used to. I feel like it's more like an action shot of a logo, you know?
I like that. Yes, it definitely is. We got some great pitching for the big train tonight. If you look, kind of local teams, Baltimore Orioles and their pitcher Kyle Bradish.
That one is hit by Parker Corbin, but collected by the second baseman, and the out over at first base advances Coleman to second. 2 outs now as Mariano was given the task of managing the jam that Borger got him into. Done well so far. Did give up a run with a sacrifice, but it doesn't go to him. It will still go to Borger. So man at second. 2 outs now. Will Hack, batter up to the plate, fouls it into the dirt on the left side.
Yeah, was talking about the O's and Kyle Bradish. They were throwing a no-hitter through 6 innings, but can't get out of that, give up 2 hits. But Baltimore still up 5-1 against Kansas City Royals in the bottom of the 7th inning.
That is a second strike to Will Hack as he took a swing at it and did not grab it before it dropped kind of out of the zone there on the bottom. Other big games happening around the league today as this pitch misses outside, Sean. The throw over to second. Kieran Coleman steals successfully. That ball is way over the head of Grant. I believe we did just see lightning
I thought I saw, a little
at Shirley Povich. So we'll see
little light in the sky
how
up
much
there.
longer we'll stay here. It's about 9 o'clock here, so I don't know if we will do a delay here. It would be good to get through a 7th inning so we could complete the game here tonight, as there aren't too many times left to reschedule a piece of a game before we have to start playoffs here in the Cal Ripken Senior League. So
I believe it's only 3 off days and 11 games. I think we have 2 weeks, but you were kind of talking to Crop Dusters, Olney Crop Dusters. That's the team that Big Train and Big Train fans are going to be looking at win over the DC Grays tonight.
big hit from Will Hack. Plenty of it, but doesn't have enough to carry it past the center fielder right into his glove there. That's the 3rd out, and after 2 more hits, bring 3 more runs in for the Big Train. They lead 5-0.
Summer is here, and that means the return of Big Train Summer Baseball Camp. Every year, kids age 5 to 17.
Welcome back to the Bethesda Big Train Network here at Shirley Povich Field. We're supposed to be going into the top of the 7th inning. However, we do have lightning in the area visible, and so we are not able to continue as of right now.
I believe it's what, a 10-mile radius around this ballpark, so good distance, and got a delay for 30 minutes at least after that. And I feel TJ Gramste's dismay right there. He had the hands on the head, and then him and I believe there might have been a new pitcher coming in, but there was kind of a couple warm-up pitches, but now they're back in the dugout. No rain yet at Povich Field, which is a good sign.
Well, it's really not ideal for anyone in this situation, as you're already so much through a game. You're so close to it being a complete game here if we're able to get through 7. We'll do a quick recap of your scores throughout the league before we will take a brief break, as we'll have to be gone for at least 30 minutes. We don't have word yet on canceling the game.
Silver Spring Tacoma Thunderbolts and the Metro South County Braves are playing a doubleheader tonight in Silver Spring Tacoma. 3-0 win in that first game for the Thunderbolts. Good win there for them, but second game they are up in the bottom of the 4th inning, 5-3. Other scores: Southern Maryland Senators played the Gaithersburg Giants, an 8-6 win for the Senators, and as I alluded to before, Olney Crop Dusters did take down the DC Grays 7-3.
We will take a break here for at least 30 minutes. We will keep you updated on whether or not this game will end up being canceled, or are we just going to take a pause, and we will be back. Thank you all for watching tonight, and we hope to see you maybe for completing this game tonight, but if not, we'll see you tomorrow in a doubleheader game against the Olney Crop Dusters. Well, folks, that was probably the shortest weather delay of our season, as the lightning actually had not reached the 10-mile radius of the park. We could see it, but it was far enough away. The radar being checked by the umpires, and we are still going to resume this game. We are in the top of the 7th now for the Big Train versus the Alexandria Aces. In case you missed it, I'm Zach Lewis, joined alongside the Big Train's writer, Sean McAvoy.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here with you, Zach. Carson Cass out tonight. And interesting scenario tonight at Shirley Povich Field with lightning kind of. Our guidance is to move all the fans out of the stands, but That was maybe like a 2-minute delay, 3-minute delay. It wasn't too long. And here come the big train. The Aces back onto the field, and the fans are starting to flow back into Povich Field.
Well, big train fielders are wandering back onto the field, but still taking a minute to get restarted here as everybody was kind of in a jumble. Stands had pretty much cleared by fans. They were headed to their cars before the announcement was made. Hey, you're welcome to come back. We have a new pitcher on the mound, and if you're as excited about this one as I am, it is the all-star, number 38, Kaiser Smith. Been an amazing reliever so far with the big train. Looking to come in and close this one maybe before the Lightning gets too close to the ballpark. If we can get through just one more inning, it can count as a complete game for the league.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to look at this radar here. Maybe this is a master plan from head coach Sal Colangelo and the big train, putting their best pitcher in to try to get out of this inning as quickly as they can. And then it's the bottom of the seventh. If you can get out of that one quickly, this game could be called completed. Don't have a weather radar on us right now. We'll have to look. But for Smith this season, he's an all-star for a reason. 8 games he's appeared in, 18 innings pitched, a 1.001 ERA and a 1.06 whip. Has only given up 2 earned runs this season, 25 strikeouts, 2-1 record, and 6 walks.
For an incredible return from the FAU, man. Really just been electric to watch. And sometimes it's funny. It seems like he seems to turn up the heat just a little bit more when he gets a runner or two on and enjoys being kind of in that high-pressure moment. A guy on third, and all of a sudden he's throwing the most heat you've ever seen. Kaiser Smith brought in to try and kill this game off. Aces will try and respond with the bats of their own. First man up here will be Jack Warner. Warner has a fly out on a ground out so far, has not recorded a hit.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because you see Kaiser Smith a lot recently, especially as got a little rosin bag out there to help him. You see him a lot during the season kind of come in for these one-inning scenarios at the end of games. A little bit more, 1 1/3 or 2/3, but top of the 7th now, and Smith's up to pitch.
First pitch misses from Smith, a little inside from him. As mentioned, he's kind of the definition of the closer for this team, coming in situations like that. That one is collected, hit by Warner, but collected by Brennan Wright. Sliding over from second base, and it makes the play over at first, gets the out. 1 up, 1 down for Kaiser Smith. Big Train's closer. That will end the night of Terry Kaler, who also only took 1 inning. So 2 pitchers with 1 inning. Not typical of the way Big Train rotate their pitchers. But 1 hit given up there. No runs. So did get a walk and a strikeout for Taylor Kaler. Big swing at that one from the designated hitter, Schraden Lechtenberg.
I think it's a good game plan from head coach Sal Colangelo to kind of just throw these pitchers 1 inning, as that one's foul right there, 0-2 count, and just have these guys not go out as relief pitchers and throw like around 3 innings or 2, and we can't use them for as long, but 1 inning pitch, 17 pitches from both those guys before this. Could use them earlier in the season.
Yeah, and I think as everybody is getting tired and having to play in lots of games, you don't want to have somebody unavailable, so only pitching 1 inning allows people to come in and still be available in 2 days again to pitch, and that can be really big if somebody else is having a harder time from the mound. That is a strikeout looking for the DH, Trayden Luxembourg. He will sit down, and Kaiser Smith gets a second out. The strikeout master for the Big Train this season comes up with a big one here as we look to try and get as much of this game played before the lightning and storm is upon us, if it will come through.
Yeah, it got a lightning map up now. Looks like there might have been a strike somewhere in the Potomac, Maryland area.
That ball is hit by Burkall, but fielders are underneath it. Very quick 3 up, 3 down from the closer as we will stretch. Big Train leading 5-0. Ball game to Jackson Mariano back on the mound for the Aces as we look to get through as many innings as we can before the Lightning, which is creating its own little fireworks show around us a little bit, lighting up the dark night sky as it's quite a dark navy blue. Up to bat first for the Big Train is the blue bat of the DH tonight, Cal Johnson.
Yeah, saw the night sky light up kind of in right field. I think those strikes might have been towards the Germantown area, I believe, according to this lightning tracker. But we're going to try to finish this game. We're going to try to get it as done. Hopefully it goes by in a jiffy.
Yeah, and this one been a very good outing for Big Train pitchers. This Lightning maybe gripping just a little bit closer. Strike that, yeah, is once again in that Clarksburg, Germantown area. We've had lots of storms blowing through here after a very hot last weekend, 4th of July weekend, and Cal Johnson takes a big swing at that one. He now moves to 2-2 after the 2-1 count there. Johnson has not got himself on base tonight. Pop out, fly out, ground out. Hearing a little thunder. Johnson doesn't realize that that last pitch was called a strike. It was not.
No, I
believe he was motioning that he had
no, I
swing.
I think the umpire was kind of. It looked like the strike call there, but I think he was telling Johnson to go to first. I think I'll have to look at the replay on that one. That might have been another catcher's interference, but I don't. We'll have to see.
Maybe it was. It looked like Johnson had fully swung at that one. But maybe once again he was interfered with, and so we'll be moving over to first base. Now up to bat Brendan Wright, who has a single so far tonight. First 2 pitches missed to Wright.
Yeah, I think there might have been a reason why that ball kind of popped out of Pizak's glove, and I think it was just Johnson got a little contact on it, and that means he goes to first, and that's a mistake by this catcher.
Yeah, second catcher's interference this season.
Well, this game, too, for Pizak.
Yeah, really typical of the all-star catcher. Something maybe a little off with his routine as Mariano misses that one low. Count goes to 2-1 to Brendan Wright. So Cal Johnson, it is officially ruled in the scorebook as a catcher's interference, is on first base due to that. And Brendan Wright now up his count, hitter's count, 3-1. That one did miss as well, so now runners on first and second as Mariano not able to find the zone consistently on those last 2 batters. Getting unlucky with the catcher's interference in the first, but just missed on that one. Logan Panett up now. Panett singled his last time up as well.
Yeah, saw another flash in the sky there. But Logan Panett now up to bat with runners on first and second.
We're now not only commentating a baseball game, but a lightning storm as well. So
Meteorologists. Me and you, Zach. Local news.
maybe they'll give me a job after how much we had to keep track of the weather from both baseball. Panett fouls that one back, 1-1. I also work in golf as well, and so I have to monitor the radar there as well as we have a lightning horn there that goes off when it strike within 10 miles. So definitely the antithesis to outdoor summer sports is that there are lots of thunderstorms in this part of the country, and it does make it difficult to play your sport like you want to. That one is missed again, 2-1 to Panett. Mariano looking to find some more control and hit the zone after he walks his last batter. Panett does make contact. He gets through the 5.5 hole there and a slide into home. Scores another run for the Big Train. The speedy cleats of Cal Johnson slide across home plate, and the lead is 6-0 now with an RBI single from Logan Panett.
Yeah, and another game where the approaches at the plate for the Big Train are impressive. They lead to runs. It's a very complete game tonight. They've kind of flipped the script. 5 errors last night for the Big Train. Aces already have 3 tonight.
Yeah, and so important is that pitch strike to Ryan Foscolo, who has a double and a single. The easier part of a cycle watch tonight. Look at our World Cup updates. Argentina scored on Switzerland. Alexis McAllister, the Liverpool man, scores for Argentina to put them ahead 1-0. Count 0-2 here to Foscolo. He fouls that one back to stay alive.
Do you have a favorite EPL team?
I'm a big Chelsea guy.
Gotcha. I think
So the London Blues are my ride and die.
I think Carson just recently became a Liverpool fan.
He did buy a jersey, and he sent a picture to me, and he wanted me to compliment it. And I said, it's a nice-looking jersey, but I can't compliment it. It's Foscolo. Takes a big swing at that one. Strike out. It's just, I can't root for Liverpool. I can't support that club. Owner of the Big Train, actually, as well, for Bruce Adams, is a Liverpool guy as well. And
I am, too. Yeah, kind of got you outnumbered here.
Well, it's the wrong club. My older brother, a Liverpool fan as well was my uncle and grandpa, so I probably should be, but I decided I didn't want to go with the crowd and found my own team there in West London. Kind of really the center of London. Well, Foscolo strikes out there. TJ Gramesty is now up to the plate again. Reached on an error his last time up. His first pitch to him is a strike. Gramesty, that one is hit and over the glove of the shortstop. Man running third base will get into home with no contest. Brennan Wright is now scored for the Big Train. Gramesty on a missed throw is able to get over to second base on that one. A great piece of hitting, puts 2 more runners in scoring position and scores 1 more. 9 hits, 7 runs scored for the Big Train in the bottom of the 7th.
Clutch hitting after clutch hit after clutch hit for this Big Train lineup. I mean, TJ Gramesty shows off the speed, kind of rounding first there. Leads to a defensive kind of miscue from the Aces, and he gets to second as you look at the radar, and it looks like the system's kind of moving towards this area. This looks like it's over in the Germantown kind of area, Poolsville right now, and it looks like it's kind of moving southeast towards DC and Bethesda.
We'll see how much longer we play this game. We'll see what the call is after the 7th inning, which we'll call it a complete game.
Looks like maybe around 10 o'clock that will start coming over. So still some time, but get out of this inning, it can be called a complete game.
Yeah, it's important for the Big Train, really the league, to have some more completed games finish. Kieran Coleman up to bat now. Makes contact with that one. It is into the glove of the shortstop, who makes the play over at first for an out, but Logan Panett able to score on a sacrifice hit by Coleman. Coleman grabs another RBI tonight, and they make the play for the out, so now at 2, but they have a runner on third base. Casey Carpenter up to bat, and the Big Train lead 8-0 now, as a game that was a pitcher's duel for a lot of it has now opened up well for the Big Train, as they now have 3 runs scored in both the bottom of the 6th and 7th innings.
Well, nice 6-7 joke there from you, Zach. You know, speaking of that insider's view of summer collegiate baseball today, you know who made a 6-7 joke?
Who made a 6-7 joke?
None other than Big Train pitching coach Craig Lopez today. Kind of caught me off guard, I will say, during that one.
If you haven't had the absolute pleasure of meeting Craig Lopez, as that pitch to Casey Carpenter misses outside. He's one of the most dynamic personalities I've ever met, even outside of sports, just in life, and has a great mantra. He just wants to show love to everyone he interacts with, and loves having heart-to-heart moments of hugs with his staff and players and even the interns. So we appreciate Craig Lopez here a lot, and if you haven't had a chance to meet him yet and you come to a Big Train game, please go up and introduce yourself to him. It's not an experience that you'll regret.
Would agree with that. As it's Casey Carpenter now to bat, the righty. 2-1 count, 2 outs for him.
Carpenter at 2-1. He fouls that one back. To add on to this big bottom of the 7th. So we were delayed for a minute here as lightning is dancing across the skies, but hoping to get to at least the end of this one as the storm is creeping closer, but the Big Train with a storm of their own, able to blow 8 runs past the Aces so far tonight, as they...
It's very much like a flash camera across the sky with this lightning, but it's not from our photographer. It's from lightning.
Nature's flash, as that one is hit hard by Casey Carpenter and back up into the wall. It is off the top of the wall and does stay in the park. Carpenter with a stand-up double, as that one is literally centimeters away from leaving this ballpark in center field, where we saw Emilio Gonzalez hit one over last night. An incredible crack of the bat from Casey Carpenter. Oh my goodness.
Back-to-back nights we think back to last night, Malvazio gets a good contact, hits off the top of the wall. Now it's Carpenter's turn to do the same exact thing. I believe Emilio Gonzalez last night was the first big train hitter to hit a home run over that very large batter's eye out in center field. Carpenter almost does the same. Couldn't go his way.
Gonzalez, the first player of any team to hit one over there here at Shirley Povich. Look like we might be moving to a new pitcher for the Aces as the Lightning situation still being heavily monitored. Somebody showing the radar monitor to the Aces head coach, and in terms of safety, looking to potentially end this a little earlier. You don't want to get in a situation where you want to finish the game, obviously, but you don't want to endanger fans and players and coaches, and it just might be the situation here where play one more out. It looks like.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Zach, and the player safety is the main priority, and the fan safety, and everybody here at Povich Field. I do agree with you on that, but at the same time, it's 2-out situation in the bottom of the 7th. Like, we can try to get out of this. It's not raining, but I don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to endanger the players here. This is just a tricky situation.
It is, and the storm is definitely creeping in this direction, but maybe we still have a couple minutes. But the outfielders there for the Aces being called back in. There are more discussions between the umpires and the coach of the big train, Sal Colangelo. We will be back after a quick break with the update on the rain situation as we look to finish this game. Welcome back to the Bethesda Big Train Network. If you're still sticking around, we have now officially canceled the game. Big Train are up on the Alexandria Aces 8-0 after 9 hits and 1 error from them. 3 errors for the Aces. We have not heard word yet. Sorry, the score is 9-0 here in the bottom of the 7th. With 2 outs, we have not heard word yet if this would be an official win categorized for the Big Train, but a really great performance all around. We will be back tomorrow, doubleheader against Helicopters. I'm Zach Lewis, joined alongside by our writer, Sean McAvoy, tonight. We thank you very much for watching and listening and for your support always. And as always, stay kind.